So you're a business in Bangladesh, and you've got your eyes on the global prize. Perfect. Today, we're going to break down how you can navigate the massive export market, find those new customers you're looking for, and really build a solid foundation for growth on the world stage. Let's jump right in.
First, just take a look at this number, 48.28 billion US dollars. That's the mind-boggling projection for Bangladesh's merchandise exports for the 2024-25 fiscal year. I mean, wow. It shows you this is a true economic powerhouse. But, and this is a big but, behind that incredible figure lies a really critical challenge. And here's the heart of that challenge. See, Bangladesh's export basket is, well, it's not very diverse. Ready-made garments, or RMG, make up a staggering 80% of the entire pie. Now, that heavy reliance on just one sector means that diversification isn't just a nice idea anymore. It's become absolutely essential for the country's long-term economic health.
So, how do we start to tackle this? Here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig a little deeper into that $48 billion challenge. Then, we'll introduce a powerful tool for growth. After that, we'll break down what that actually looks like in practice, map out the experts who can help you, and give you a checklist for picking the right one. And finally, we'll pull it all together with the real key to winning at global trade.
Okay, let's dive into part one. The core problem here isn't just about having all your eggs in one basket. The whole world of global trade is getting way more complex. You know, major markets like the EU and North America, they're rolling out much stricter requirements, and that's completely changing the rules of the game for exporters everywhere.
And this right here, this is the new global standard. It's just not enough to say you have a great product anymore. International buyers, they demand verifiable proof. Proof of your compliance with environmental, social, and governance, that's ESG, standards. And they want full traceability for your product from the raw material all the way to the finished good. You know, talk is cheap. They want to see the data.
So how on earth is a business supposed to navigate this tricky, demanding new landscape? Well, the answer lies in a specialized service that's designed to turn these very challenges into opportunities. And that service is called Export Consulting.
Now, what is export consulting really? At its core, it's a professional service that literally helps a company through the whole process of selling stuff across borders. Doesn't matter if you're just starting out and have no idea where to begin, or if you're already exporting and want to scale up your operations.
But listen, this is about way more than just getting some advice. A really great way to think about it is that it helps you build a growth infrastructure. So think of it like building the actual foundation for your export business. It's about getting everything aligned, your compliance, your pricing, your logistics, so that your success isn't just a one-time thing, but something you can count on again and again.
Okay, infrastructure is a big word. So what does that actually mean day to day? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what these consultants really do, from that first spark of an idea all the way until the product is shipped.
Think of this as the entire export journey, and a consultant is basically your expert guide. It all kicks off with a super important readiness check. I mean, can your business actually handle exporting right now? From there, they help you cook up a smart market strategy, connect you with the right kinds of buyers, and then help you navigate that maze of compliance and paperwork. And finally, they help you manage the shipping and figure out how to scale up for the next big order.
And within that journey, they provide these incredibly specific critical services. This is the stuff that prevents really expensive mistakes. We're talking about things like HS code mapping, which is basically a universal ID for your product that determines taxes and tariffs, or selecting the right Incoterms, the shipping rules that say who pays for what and when. They can even get your factory prepped for a really tough social compliance audit. It's detailed work.
So you're sold. You need some help. Who are the actual players on the ground in Bangladesh that provide this kind of expertise? Well, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Different firms specialize in different areas, and knowing the difference is key.
This table is a great little map of the landscape. See, you've got the big advisory firms like KPMG or PwC. They're usually great for larger companies focused on big picture stuff like risk and governance. Then you have trade facilitators like TNIB. These guys are more boots on the ground, focused on execution and making connections. You've also got compliance verifiers like Intertek, who handle all the technical testing and audits. And finally, you have strategy and data firms like Lightcastle Partners, who give you that deep market analysis to help you make smart decisions. Who you choose really depends on what you need. All right, so you have the map. Now for maybe the most important question of all, how do you choose the right partner for your business? Let's walk through a super practical checklist that will help you make a much better decision. Okay, pay close attention here, because this is so important. On the left, you've got the green flags, what you should look for. a structured process, someone who demands data, who has real, relevant experience, and who manages your expectations. On the right, these are the giant red flags. Anyone who guarantees buyers, run. Anyone who makes vague promises, isn't totally transparent about fees, or just seems to lack a clear process, avoid them.
And it all boils down to this one simple idea. A credible, true partner operates on a foundation of evidence and proof. They're not going to make you empty promises. Instead, they're going to ask you for the hard stuff, your costing sheets, your compliance documents, your capacity reports. And why? Because real, sustainable export success is built on the proof that you can provide.
And that brings us to our final, and I think most important idea. The goal here isn't just to close one deal. It's not about making one shipment. The real goal is to build a repeatable, reliable system for long-term success. It's about building your export engine.
So what are the parts of this engine? What do you need to build? Well, you need clear product positioning. You need a compliance checklist for every single market you want to enter. You need a solid pricing model that covers all your costs. You need a measurable pipeline to track your potential buyers. And most of all, you need consistent day-in, day-out operational discipline. This is the system that separates the businesses that are thriving globally from the ones that are just getting by.
So I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. It's a challenge, really, to every business owner and aspiring exporter out there. Are you just selling a product, shipment by shipment, and just hoping for the next order? Or have you actually invested the time and effort to build a true engine for sustainable global growth? The answer to that question will define your future.